Hi there, tarot lovers. Welcome to this full moon tarot reading I just made with a lovely group of people. We've got 4 cards to look at, of which the instigator or the preliminary card is this one, the Hanged Man, and his beautiful reversed upside down position standing on the Tao cross like this. He is followed by this 2 cards which we're going to look at, the 3 of Wands and the reverse 10 of Pentacles, and the last card at the bottom is this beautiful Page of Cups. So let me dive into what this reading may mean and see if you can relate to it at one time or another. And I'd like to speak on a personal sort of, just to what it might mean to you individually, as well as what potentially it relates to on a more cultural or global scale, you might say. So the Hanged Man is this beautiful representation of the change of perspective and the change of the way we see ourselves, and how that switch, or that, because this is somebody who's hanging upside down, so they naturally view the world with 180-degree difference than the way you would do if you're normally standing upright. And that creates this shift of perception, a shift of perception which represents a change of the way you choose to look at things, also this natural open-mindedness, or this openness to be able to see both sides of the story, to be able to live upside down in a world and be completely okay with that, to see the beauty in chaos, to recognize the dark in the light. There is this real topsy-turvy nature to the Hanged Man, and that flip of perception is what creates a primary internal change. And I say it's an internal change because when you change the way you look at things, doesn't necessarily reflect instantly in the way we do things. It starts off with us questioning what we see and questioning the ideas we have about life and the ideas we have about ourselves. Both are really important things to question right now in our lives, because the world is undergoing huge shift and huge changes. There is nothing more important to do in this world right now than to question yourselves, than to question your perspective, than to question what you think is real and right, to question reality, and the reality that you've made up, to question all those things. There's nothing better than posing those questions to yourself, just to challenge your perception a little bit, just to potentially challenge yourself to expand the way you look at yourself and the way you might experience life. And I think these are some of the most important things that we can do in our life, or the most important work, is really to practice seeing both sides of every story, to practice jumping in somebody else's boots that you wouldn't normally do, to practice recognizing the right and the wrong, to practice seeing the beauty in the chaos. And the Hanged Man asks us to be prepared to shift our perception, because life is asking us to. And what that might mean is also, on a practical level, is asking us to change the way we've seen something that we may have been really strongly conditioned to judge, or something that we may have a very strong opinion about, and we may be very grounded in that opinion. We may be very fixed or stubborn, or just we may find it difficult to imagine changing our mind about something, and yet the world is really asking for that now. It's asking for us to change our mind about many things, and obviously the most profound changes that we can make in our perception, or at least the way we look at life, are the changes in the way we look at ourselves. And these are going to always be the most, or the more life-changing flips, or if we were to switch our perception 180 degrees, the perception that we maintain or we hold towards ourselves will be will create the set of ideas which will shift more of our life experience than anything else. But also the way we change the way we look at the world as well. That is not little, it's huge. If we have been taught to judge and to look at life with one set of glasses on, one set of judgments, one set of perspectives, then the hanged man is asking us to be prepared to see things completely differently. This also is a card which is asking us to imagine things that we might have thought impossible, to maybe be open-minded to accept truths that we might have previously thought were not real or true or honest or valid. Because we human beings have a whole range of truths which we have persuaded ourselves are honest, that we hold on to and allow us to confine our experience primarily in this world. And as we break out of our attachment to these certain truths, our mind expands, our experience of ourselves expands, life expands, and the world transforms. This is the natural growth cycle. But I think on a global level and on an individual level, this card has come along to ask us to challenge a bunch of our beliefs and a bunch of our perspective and a bunch of the way we look at ourselves and life. The next two cards which come up, which speak about this guidance that we all have in life, these three wands represent this creativity that backs us every vision that we care to focus on. But this is asking us to specifically shift our perception into a more spiritual vision. And what that means on a practical level is to not necessarily be fixed at looking at the world in a very mundane way. And maybe this card speaks about that same not rejection for the mundaneness, but we'll speak about another aspect of this card too. But also, let's recognize that this physical world in its completion is more whole, complete, and beautiful than we normally think it is. If we were to relate this card, this 10 was upside down, yeah. But if we relate to this card to the switch in perception, we would say that we have everything that we want. It's all here, the whole family, 3 generations, everything la-di-da, completely fulfilled, completely satisfied. Everything is there that we need in this world. We're not lacking anything. Fantastic, wonderful, beautiful. My life is complete, nothing left to do. Don't need to prove myself. No more work needed. Job done. Voila, we might say. This card is upside down. And interestingly, the Hanged Man, if he was looking at this, he would be looking at this card the right way up. And since it's the only upside down or reverse card in this reading, we're going to look at the questions that this asks us to do, because it asks us to embrace all of our family. It asks us to embrace all of our health. It asks us to embrace every part of our body. It asks us to embrace all the things that we have and all the things that we think we don't have and we need. It asks us to embrace our work completely. And it asks us to embrace this in a way which is saying everything that you have, your health, your wealth, your work and your possessions, it's all complete. There's nothing missing. It's all enough. There's no lack. It's all there. It's all there for you to work with. Our normal perception of life is that there's something missing. We've got to work to get this. We're not quite strong enough. We're not quite healthy enough. We've got to do this in order to be better at that. We've got to learn that. We've got to accomplish this. We've got to work a little bit harder so that we can have more. And we all come at the physical world, or our perception of the physical world is very often through a lens of lack, not of completion. Not of, hey, everything is here, I'm completely satisfied, but yeah, I've got a bunch of things. Some things are going well, but look at what I haven't got. Look at what I don't have. Look at what I really need. Look at what is missing in my life. And we look at life in this physical world through that lens. And this reading is asking us to stop doing that. It's asking us to start practicing seeing this world as being complete. Your world right here, right now, being complete. Now, some people would take that and they'll run with it and they'll say, well, if everything's complete and there's nothing missing right now, does that mean I don't need to do anything? I can just sit on my ass and do nothing all day? This is a truth which belongs to the present moment. You might not have the high level of health that you want, the high level of wealth that you want. You might not have all the set of circumstances that you project on a successful life. You might not have all those things yet. But for where you are right now in this present moment, you have everything you need. That's what this card is saying. You have everything you need right here, right now. I'm not talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a new you. Tomorrow you can have more if you wish for it. But right now, you have everything that you need to be the perfect version of yourself right in this moment. Now, we will naturally project ourselves into the future and our thoughts will jump in there. How can we have everything that we need and then strive for more at the same time? Yeah. Well, the striving or the looking for more, and part of this reading is speaking about maybe a manifestation process as well on some degree. Part of that looking for more needs to come from a place of satisfaction more than lack. Because if we are striving for more with feelings and focusing on what we are missing, then we'll naturally attract and create more of the missing experience. If we are working hard for something beautiful, sitting in the feeling of appreciation and a recognition of how satisfied and complete our life is, then our life will continue to manifest more and more versions of satisfaction and completion. This, I think, is part of the spiritual perception of this world. This is part of looking out on life from a spiritual viewpoint, not from a mundane viewpoint where, yes, I haven't got enough money to do this, and yes, I need to go and buy this and this and this and this, and oh, we've got to sort the kids out, and oh, we've got to do this and we've got to do that. There are many mundane things that will bring us back into the world. This does not take away from the truth that from a spiritual perspective, everything that you need right now is absolutely perfect. And you are complete right here, right now. And it seems to be a contradiction to feel complete and then look around and persuade yourself that we're lacking something. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges of all manifestation stories. For me, for sure, probably for everybody, is to use our creative imagination enough so that we can switch the perception of lack and turn it into the spiritual viewpoint of abundance. Even if in the background our mind is still going, yeah, but I haven't got enough, oh no, need more, oh, no, I'm not worthy enough, not good enough, not whatever enough. Even if we've got those lack programs running in the background, if we can manage to tap into this childlike imagination, and I don't know if you remember when you were a child, and you may have lacked many things as a child, and you may have run around wanting stuff, but a child's needs are usually a little bit less maybe what's the word? Yeah, less detailed and less complex than adult needs. And a child, if you give them a joyful experience, they won't be lacking anything. If you just give them a little bit of play where they can find some joy and some excitement in interacting with other people, there's no feeling of lack. There's not one moment that their mind is saying, oh, if only I could have a little bit of this, and if only I could find that. And if you leave them on their own, they'll find something joyful to do, and they won't sit around going, oh, poor me, I haven't got enough stuff to create joyful experiences. They'll just go and make one up, because their imagination is open enough and they haven't closed their mind about what they can do. And little things are really interesting. There's always something new for a child to experience. And if you can remember some of your childhood experiences, or what it was like maybe to be a child, then that's a little bit about what this card is talking about. We've lost that innocence of that childlike ability to just sit down in the middle of nowhere and find some beauty in a rock, or in some grass, or a grasshopper, or lift that rock and see the bugs that are growing under it, or just smell that flower and really enjoy it, or just go and splash in the waters of the beach or a pond or something. Just simple stories. Those simple stories don't satisfy us anymore, and we find ourselves caught up in this idea that we need to create and be more and more and more and more, and we lack the perception of how perfect and complete our life is in the present moment. And it's such a conflicting paradox that unless we really embrace how perfect the moment is and how complete our lives are right here, right now, the more challenging it's going to be to create an abundant future. And the more challenging it's going to be to embrace all of the lessons of our ancestors and our family stories that come up in these cards, our family stories that present themselves with all of their challenges. All of those stories are perfect too, and all of our life situation, our family situations, they're all designed to a T. They're designed to be the exact complete version of what they need to be for us in every single moment. And it's really just our own lack of correct perception, or maybe even spiritually guided perception, that allows us to see, experience, and acknowledge how complete our lives actually are. Have a wonderful full moon, guys, and if you like this reading and you want to be a part of future live readings where we gather together with a group of people on just live to do this, to look into what these cards are and maybe share a few stories. If you want to join us, just drop me an email below, and I'll add you to the list and send you the invite every month. Have a wonderful month, guys, and if there's any shift of perception that could be interesting or beautiful for you, if there's any 180-degree flips of the way you look at yourself and life, get prepared to do that. Use your imagination to what that might look like, and see if you can find some appreciation and joy to the perfection of your life as it is right here, right now. Much love.